Hey guys, listening to my favorite song over here. How's everyone doing? What's up, guys? Cheers. We've got Baby Girl, we've got LaBrouche, we've got Down with the Gumby. Welcome to Let's Go Live, everyone. And tonight's episode is going to be a little bit different. So normally I would be interviewing a celebrity, but the shoe's going to be on the other foot today. So you guys are going to be interviewing me in an Ask Me Anything. Okay, I told you to ask me anything, and you did. You certainly did. You sent in your questions yesterday. My friend, my bestie Fiona Bloom, is going to be moderating. Okay, so she's got your questions and she's going to be throwing them at me. And I know there's some really interesting ones in there. So let's see if we can find Fiona. So Fiona, she owns a company called The Bloom Effect. She is, like I said, she's one of my best friends. And she's the woman who gave me my first foot in the door in the industry when I first got to New York and I was in university. We love Fiona. Let's see if we can find her. Okay, here she is. And I'll turn this music down. All right, let's see if we can find Fee. She's an entrepreneur. She does marketing, PR. She owns her own company. Fiona.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Interesting filters over there. How are you doing?
I'm actually really good. Let's have a toast really quickly.
Well,
where's your baby?
I'm just as good. What are you drinking?
What? I was just about to ask you. Wait, I thought I was asking you the questions.
Let's start off this way. You are, but I get in one. So what are you? Okay. I'm drinking Malbec. What are you drinking?
I am actually drinking a rosé. It's an Austrian rosé, which is a little bit off season because
Austrian rosé.
No, not equestrian. Austrian, from Austria, from Vienna.
Got it. I'm drinking Malbec.
Yeah, Malbec would have been a better choice, actually, because it's getting chilly.
Yeah, it is. Hi, D Nice, by the way.
Oh, D Nice is in the house, yes.
Yeah. Good to see everyone. So, Fee, yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Like, you're somebody who knows me better than pretty much everyone else in the world.
Intimately.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're freezing a little bit, though. Are you getting... It's probably all the messages you're getting, right?
Probably, yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Am I better now? Is it good?
You're better now. You're better now. Great. Yes. So, Fee, how do you want to do this?
I think we just get straight into it. I mean, I'm really excited that we can give you a 10 in 10 challenge for you. You know, you're the one giving it, so we can give it back, can't we?
Yes,
so I mean, I think it's quite exciting. By the way, I do want to say this, Shaz.
University, my old school.
I do want to say
exactly.
I do want to say this though, Shaz, before we get started. I miss the BC times with you. You know BC? BC.
I have no idea what that means.
Okay, BC, not before Christ, not AD Anno Domini, BC before COVID.
Oh, I know.
I completely miss BC hanging with you. It's just,
I know.
It's crazy.
Anyway. It is. No, me too, Fee, me too. And we live so close to each other as well, but tough times right now.
Yes, unprecedented. So why don't we just go straight into it? Speaking of, how have you been handling the lockdown? How have you been handling staying at home because you're always on the go? And do you have any, self-care practice tips that you can share with us? That's actually my question.
I don't know if I've been doing a lot of the self-care stuff as much as I should, to be honest. I mean, it's certainly been tough. I mean, I think the first few months were, it was different, sort of self-isolating, quarantining. Thank God I have 2 cats. They've been keeping me great company. But I think like all of us thought, oh, well, by the time the summer hits, it's going to be over with. And then the summer hit and we were like, oh, maybe just a couple more months. But obviously it's lasted a lot longer than many of us anticipated. So I think that's the difficult part. And obviously there's, you know, what I've been going through is nothing compared to what so many other people have been going through, right? But what I've tried to do personally is just stay in touch with people as much as possible, my loved ones, my friends. Okay, we might not see each other that much. I haven't seen my family all year, but we'll FaceTime, we text each other a lot, you know, we'll WhatsApp each other. And then the friends that do live close, like every once in a while, we'll meet up for a drink. If they've had a COVID test, I've actually had COVID, so I have the antibodies, but I still get tested as well. And, you know, so if we feel safe enough, we might meet up and have a drink and that sort of thing. But really, one of the biggest things that has helped get me through this time, I think, is just going for walks. It's like something that simple, you know, like just getting outside and just going for a walk and like feeling the sun on your face. And I did that earlier today. I have a park not far from me. So I went to the park and just sat down and drank my Starbucks vanilla frappuccino, which I have to have every day. So I think, you know, fresh air is just really important, even though, yes, I know you've got the mask on, but still, you know, you're getting some fresh air, you're getting some sun on your face. And I think it makes you feel just 1,000 times better, because being cooped up at home is hard.
Absolutely. How do you drink those frappuccinos with your mask on?
Well, that's when the mask comes down for a few seconds.
All right, let's go. I've got I've got a question here from Lysandra. What's your ethnicity? What's your background? Where are you from?
Okay. Well, obviously I'm from the UK, but my ethnicity, I am half Indian and half white. And if you want to sort of break down the half white side, there's Scottish, there's English, there's Dutch in there. So it's kind of a whole range. But yeah, for the most part, simply put, half Indian and half white. But most people don't think that. Most people have no idea because, I don't know, maybe I don't look half Indian. I think the eyebrows are probably a dead giveaway. A lot of people think I'm half black and half white.
Right.
And I have very curly hair as well. So yeah.
I could think you could also pass for Dominican, you know, Latin American, Dominican, or, I mean,
I've had all kinds of things. Yeah, I've had all kinds of things. But most people, if I tell them to guess, and usually I'll ask people to guess, and no one ever gets it right. Very few people.
Keep them hanging, keep them guessing, Shaz.
Exactly.
All right, this one's from Pedro. Pepsi or Coke?
Okay, who's it from? Pedro?
Yes.
Okay. Pepsi or Coke? Is that the full name you're reading?
Pedro 22 or something.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the question, Pedro. Coke. Definitely Coke every time. An ice cold Coke. There's nothing like it. I remember seeing an interview with Carrie Fisher, who I love because I'm a big Star Wars fan. Obviously, she's no longer with us, but she was talking about how much she loves Coca-Cola, and when she drinks it, you have that burning sensation, like when it goes down your throat, like an ice cold Coke. I was like, yes, I could relate. Like, I love that. I try not to drink too much Coca-Cola, maybe once a month, but I do like Coke. Pepsi, no, I wouldn't do it. No, sorry.
Do you feel like you get a bit fidgety when you drink Coke? Because I know for me, if I drink anything fizzy, I get a bit, I get a bit shaky.
No, no,
that doesn't happen
really?
to you. I do.
No,
I can get a
well,
bit shaky.
You have no, I don't think it's got that much caffeine. If I drink Red Bull, then yes, I get a little, you know, a little antsy. But no, with Coca-Cola, it doesn't do anything to me like that.
Speaking of getting you going,
Yeah.
Bahama Pilot asks you, what does keep you going? What does get you ticking?
Wait, was that the question? Oh, what keeps me going? Okay. I think the way he meant that was sort of what keeps you going in everyday life, right?
Probably, yeah. What keeps you going in general? Just daily routine.
Hi,
what
Samson.
motivates you?
Samson's
Oh, Samson. I love Samson.
We love you, Samson. You're our favorite.
I remember Samson.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen Samson in so long. We love you. So what keeps me going? I mean, on a sort of daily basis, I think it's just having a lot of drive and motivation, like loving what I do, being dedicated sort of to my craft, to, you know, trying to create top quality work. I think having that passion for entertaining and informing and educating people. I have a passion for sort of finding out the facts as well, like the facts, credibility, all of that stuff is really important to me. And, you know, my family, like wanting my family, they are proud of me, but like just wanting to make my mom feel proud of me, and I know she does.
Oh, of course she does.
So all of those things, and then also working towards change in the ways that I can help. That gets me going as well.
So this one's from Jocks and Beats. Do you ever want to get married and have kids?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I would love to get married and have kids. I'm going to get married and have kids at some point, you know, but of course it's about being with the right person, right? I've never been one of those people who just sort of grew up dreaming of getting married and having the white wedding and the, you know, the home and all of that kind of stuff. I've been very career focused, but I would love to get married when I find the right person. And I'm definitely a family person as well. I mean, when I go back to the UK and I'm around my brother and his family, and my sister and her family, my nieces and nephews, like there's nothing like it. I absolutely love it. Like that whole family dynamic. And it reminds me of when I grew up as well. So yeah, I would absolutely love to have that. I mean, career is still important to me. I'm on those, they always say, oh, well, you can't have it all, right? And well, they don't always say it, but some people say you can't have it all. Some people say, I actually met this woman. I remember when I was working for BET and I was covering an event, and there was a woman there who used to be a journalist, and she came over to me and she was like, I used to do what you do. She said she worked for CBS and she was flourishing in her career. And then she said she gave it all up to have a family and to have kids. And she was like, yeah, one day you're going to have to make that choice. You're going to have to choose one or the other. And I thought to myself, never. I'm never going to have to make that choice. I'm going to have both. Yeah. And so although that it can be really difficult, it can be really tough. And listen, if you do want to choose one or the other, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying you can have whatever you want in life. And if it is it all, you know, if you do want it all, then you're going to have it all. If you work for
totally that. Agree with that. Yeah. You know, I'm trying to picture you as a mum, Shaz. I can't picture you. No, I know you'd be the best mum in the world.
Well, but you haven't seen me with a cat. You also haven't seen me with my nephews and nieces, and you've only ever seen me. So you know me really well. You know me inside and out, but you know me for the social scene and you know me for the work scene. You don't know me for the family side of things, even though you've met some of my family members.
I absolutely have. I've met your brother. Yeah. Your brother took me out at a few parties back in the day. Yeah. I met your mom. I met your stepdad. Yeah. I met a few of your family. Yeah, they're lovely.
You did. Not my sister yet, but you were. But yeah, so unless you see me, like we just haven't been around kids together. So yeah.
True. Well, I'm a kid at heart, but
you are actually. I'm like your mom.
Well, hey now.
Your mom might be on right now, actually.
She might be actually, and that's a bit embarrassing. That's okay, because I'm like, oh, mom, sorry, my hair. I know. All right, we've got so many questions. I'm just trying to go through them all. Brilliant. I mean, some of them are great questions. I'm trying to save the best for last. Actually. Do you get nervous?
Go for the good ones. Give us a really good one next.
Well, I was about to say, actually, do you get nervous before you go live? I mean, like, are you nervous now, for example?
Who's that from? Because we want to give credit to the...
Yes, of course. We want to... That's from Rainbow 22.
Okay. Do I get nervous before going live?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, to be completely honest, and I think that most people who say that they don't might not be being completely honest, because I think if you care enough about, or maybe they just don't care, like I think if you care enough about something and you want to do a really good job, I think you're going to feel some sort of nerves. But you know, I was a really shy kid, and some people know this, I've spoken about this a little bit before. I was a really shy kid sort of back in the days, right? And even in school, like in class, I wouldn't raise my hand. I always knew the answer, but I would never raise my hand because I didn't want to be called on. I was shy to speak in front of everyone. You know, there were various reasons why. I mean, I also grew up in a at a time and in a place where people were quite racist, and I did get bullied a lot as well. But you know, back in the UK, but I think I was just sort of innately shy anyway, and I've had to work at getting out of that. Although I'm also someone who is okay. It's weird because it's like this sort of shy, but is okay with attention, like embraces attention. So it's kind of this strange kind of dichotomy going on.
Right.
But yeah, so I remember the first time I went live as well. It was on 106 and Park, right? That was the first time I ever went live, and there was.
I think I saw
news.
that. I was there. I watched that. I watched that show.
Okay.
You went live.
Yeah. And because I was working for BT News, and they were like, "Oh, there's this breaking news. We want Sharon to come on. She's going to go on 106." And oh my gosh, I felt sick to my stomach. I really did. I mean, the story was just a terrible story. There'd been a shooting at school, so that was a horrible story to have to talk about. But I was also really nervous because I knew like millions of people were going to be watching, and I got through it. And you know, the more I've done it, the more I've gotten used to it. But I remember also the first time I went live where it was sort of open-ended. It was covering the election of President Obama, right? I was at McCain's campaign headquarters, and this was also a time when I realized, oh, it happens to all of us. So there was a sort of a veteran reporter who covers the White House, and he's been doing this for many years. And I remember him telling me afterwards, he was like, he felt so sick doing that live coverage that he vomited 5 times. So that's how nervous he was. So I think that, you know, even for those people who have been doing this for a very long time, I've seen celebrities get very nervous even before I do an interview with them, and it might not even be live. It's just you've got all the cameras set up and you've got the lights going on, and people feel those nerves. So there's nothing wrong with feeling it. It's just, you know, don't let it get the better of you, but there's nothing wrong with feeling it. You can feel it.
Yeah, that's the adrenaline. You know, that's the nerves when you've been doing it for a long time and you get that jittery feeling. That's the adrenaline flowing. I mean, you don't want to ever lose that anyway. That's the excitement. That's the magic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I remember when you said you were shy as a kid. Yeah. I mean, obviously you and I have known each other a few years. I mean, I actually remembered you when you were still quite shy.
Yeah, I think it was a combination. Yeah, I was quite shy when I worked for you. So just so everyone knows, like when I first came to America and I was going to school and I wanted to be in the music industry at that point in time. And Fiona was running a record label, and she, after leaving me sitting in her office for 2 hours, yes, I remember that, Fee. You're never going to
let that one go, are you, Shaz? Ever.
I'm never going to let that go. She left me sitting in her office for 2 hours, but then she ended up hiring me. Yes, so that was great. And I was her intern, and then she hired me as her assistant shortly after. And this is interesting. So you hired me as your assistant maybe 2 or 3 months later, right? Because you were impressed with my magnificent work.
Slightly. No, I was desperate.
What was interesting, do you remember all the guys at the record label were saying, oh, Sharon only got hired because of, you know, I don't want to sound like braggadocious or anything like that. I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but this is what people were saying. They were like, she only got hired so quickly after being an intern because so-and-so thought she was cute, or, you know, those sorts of things. Oh, because she was flirting with this person. It's like, first of all, it was a woman who hired me. And a heterosexual woman who just liked her. Just because you had to intern for 3 years before you got hired, you know, don't try to bring me down. Don't try to like dim my shine. But you know, that's something I think that as women we experience a lot in the industry. And you know, you just brush that stuff off.
Absolutely. This is from Cindy Essex. Okay. How many dresses did you wear during your time at HQ? And do you miss HQ trivia?
Oh, of course I miss HQ. Yeah. I mean, HQ was a really incredible sort of moment in
Mm.
my career for me. And because I was there before it blew up, and so I saw it sort of grow exponentially. And it was, now that was an adrenaline rush. Like, so when the first game I hosted, there were about 1,200 live players in the game. We were giving
Mm.
away $100. And then, you know, a couple of weeks later, there are 5,000 live players in the game. A couple of weeks later, 20,000. Now it's 200,000, 500,000. Now it's 1 million. Now it's 2 million. And it was like the craziest thing. And everyone was so excited about it. Everyone played. Everyone knew about it. You'd get in a cab or an Uber, and the Uber driver was talking about HQ. Celebrities were playing HQ. Jimmy Kimmel wanted to come on and host HQ, which he did. So it was really amazing to be a part of something that people just loved so much, and it really changed people's lives, certain people's lives. I won't go into all of that, but it had a big impact on people. And so yeah, it was amazing to be part of that. I also got the chance to host in the UK, and we launched the UK show, and within like 3 months, it was amazing. Like, I was in pretty much every publication out there in the UK because of HQ, because people loved it so much. And it was great to be able to go home and be part of something that, you know, my family is playing, my parents are playing, my brother and sister are playing, all my friends back in the UK. So yeah, I miss it. And then also I just met some really incredible people there. All the rest of the hosts, like, you know, my bosses, like everyone's still pretty close.
Didn't you
But
actually?
how many dresses did I wear? Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and
Hundreds.
hundreds, because there were times I would host 4 games in one day. Like, I'd do both UK shows and I'd do both US shows. And my whole thing was, I don't wear the same dress twice.
Right.
So
Ever.
Pisces.
You've never worn the same dress twice. Ever. Like, as long as I know you.
Well, I have, but just not on screen. Except I did the other day when I did Wendy 2 weeks ago, and then I had to rush home and do the Royal Report, and I didn't have time to get changed. I wore the same dress twice. I broke my rule. But I didn't buy all those dresses. I had a stylist who was like pulling those dresses for me. So I don't have like hundreds, thousands of dresses in my closet, unfortunately.
You know, it's interesting with HQ though, Shaz, because that was like a cultural dent. Like, you were part of the, you know, the fabric of something that was like molded into a lifestyle that will always be remembered and documented, which is pretty amazing, right? I mean,
it is. I mean, to be honest, like, I've been a part of big shows and, you know, things that millions of people have watched, but just the passion behind the players, like, there was just so much excitement. I mean, the game's still, HQ is still going on. I'm no longer a part of it. I mean, I went on recently and did a special show for charity, but I mean, people still love it and people still play.
You mentioned the Royal Report. The Royal Report. Actually, Cole Rudolph. He has a question. He's asked, "What's your favorite, or who's your favorite royal, and what would be the perfect day for you?"
Okay, so I think those are 2 questions. But first of all, can I just say we love Carl. Carl is amazing, and I think Carl knew of me through HQ and has been like a really big supporter. And we love you, Carl. I think you're probably watching right now. But who is my favorite royal? I would say Prince Harry. And the reason I like Prince Harry is because, first of all, he's cool. He's got a little swag. You know, he's somebody who makes his own rules, but does so respectfully, right? So he doesn't do anything. I mean, maybe back in the days he did. He did some wild stuff, like when he was growing up, but, you know, didn't we all? But, you know, he kind of plays by his own rules, but still in a very respectful way, and a way that I think is fine for a royal to conduct themselves. So he's cute as well, you know, that helps. And I love the fact that he married a woman of color. I really, really like that. Being a woman of color myself, who grew up in the UK, again, when, you know, the UK is pretty racist still to this day, but it was very racist. If you lived outside of a major city, when I was growing up in the 80s, it was racist. And I think a lot of people had a similar experience to what I experienced. And I would never have dreamed a person of color, you know, to be a member of the royal family. So it really meant a lot when he married Meghan.
Of course. I also love Harry because he's a rebel. I love the rebellious
he's a rebel,
personality.
but he, in a respectful way.
Sure.
So that's why, like he's not just out there disrespecting the royal family. Yeah.
But he's adventurous. That's what I mean by a rebel. You know what I mean? Like he's not conforming to certain standards, like with respect, and he's, you know.
Yeah. And he has a good heart as well. Like he can, as they all do. I mean, I like a lot of them. And I love the fact that they get involved in all these different causes and bring attention to them. So yeah, he's passionate about his causes.
So Shaz, we all want to know the secret behind your brows. Like, how do you keep them so defined during COVID? What is your secret?
You know,
what's your trick? What's your trick?
My brows have been a big talking point, you know, because when I was hosting HQ, people used to say my eyebrows were like slugs. Because you know you've got the live chat, right? And everyone would talk about my eyebrows. Not everyone said they looked like slugs, but some people did. I'm like, okay, you guys don't know that this is in now. I've always had thick eyebrows, except for when I was trying to conform, right? There were times I would try to conform, and there were networks I worked for where the makeup artist and the hairstylist would be like, hi, Anna. That's my girl, Anna. Yeah, the makeup artist would be like, Anna, of course, is one of the hosts of HQ. But anyway, the makeup artist would always say, oh, you got to pluck those brows. You got to dye those brows. And, you know, I tried a couple of times and I looked like somebody else. I did not look like myself. But how do I keep them like that? I mean, I don't really pluck my brows or anything anymore. I used to, because they used to be thicker than this, to be honest, when I was growing up. But I do have something by Benefit, which is like Benefits Browsings, I think it's called. And I'll just like sort of fill them in a bit and make them look a little more polished. So Benefit has the best eyebrow kit. It's so good. They've got like a wax on one side. They've got a powder on the other. If you want your brows looking good, Benefit Browsings.
Benefit. All right, everybody. Benefit. I'm going to try Benefit. Actually, somebody just left a comment. I wasn't sure who it was. They called you busty browed girl. I like that. Well, that's good. I mean, busty browed. Ooh, I mean,
thanks for pointing that one out, Fee.
Busty browed. Actually, busty browed could be a cool eyebrow campaign. Actually, I like that.
Busty brows.
I'm going to take notes there.
Busty brows, then yes, I do. That's the only busty we're going to be.
I mean, there's other busty things going on. But...
Wait, you're making me dribble. Stop.
Oh, sorry. No, what are you drinking? Wait, I thought you were on to what? I thought you were having wine. What are you
mixing? So I'm a big fan of lemonata. Is that? Is that sort of backwards? It is, right? But lemonata, I love it. Yeah.
Limonata. You have to say it with an Italian accent.
Oh, wait, they said bushy.
Limonata.
They said bushy, not busty, Fee.
Oh,
they said bushy.
Oh, they said bushy. Actually, I like busty. I like busty brow. That's sexy. Bushy's not sexy.
Brows.
Bushy is not sexy. Okay, busty, robust. I'm still keeping that busty part.
But I will tell you something, but this is why you can't listen to what everyone else says, right? Because everyone's telling me, pluck my brows, pluck my brows. The amount of women that pluck their brows to death and they have no brows left. And now the brows are in fashion and they don't have any brows.
They are.
At least I've still got my brows.
I've got my brows. Do you see my brows? You've
still got your brows. You've still got your brows.
I mean, they need some benefits.
It's good stuff, Fee.
Yeah. All right, listen. There's a million questions.
Mr. Grill is in the chat. What's your tipple of choice? Well, right now is Malbec. Is Mark.
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark. Hi, Mark.
Cheers, Mark.
right,
No,
listen.
it's Prosecco, to be honest. It's Prosecco. Prosecco is what I drink usually. I don't have any Prosecco here because you open it and then it goes flat, right? But if I go to a restaurant, I'm
It does.
Prosecco. But I'm drinking
It
Malbec
does.
right now. Cheers, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Actually, Mark says he's got brows too. Mark, you should try Benefit.
Does he?
Yeah, he said he's got brows. You know Mark has brows.
Oh, yeah.
He's got really...
No, I'm trying to picture. Yeah, Mark.
He does.
Brows.
Oh, he does he? Okay. So listen,
Boy Brow
Chaz,
by
let's just get...
Glossier. I don't know that one.
Chaz, let's just get to the point here. Let's just get to it. Let's just get to it.
Let's get to it.
Million, well, not millions, but loads and loads and loads and loads of your fans or your admirers, they're all asking the same bloody question. It's one burning question. And you know what it is? Do you know what it is? They're all asking you.
I'm scared.
Chaz,
I'm
Chaz,
really
seriously. Don't be frightened. They're all asking you, are you single? Are you single?
Okay. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that.
Well, I mean, it's quite bad if you think about it. Bad in the sense that it could go either way. Are you single? Just answer straight
that's an easy one to answer. Yes, I am.
Ooh.
I mean, you know this.
You know, I can't keep up with you. I mean, I know you're not married, obviously.
Oh my gosh. Mr. Grill, shut up. You know as well.
No. Okay.
No, I'm single. So,
crazy.
I mean, I'm totally open to, like, I've been out on dates and, you know, I meet nice people and there've been some cool people here and there that I've spent some time with. But no, I mean, I'm single. I mean, but I'm totally open to, I would love to be in a relationship. I was in a relationship sort of on and off for a long time. And it was the wrong situation for me. And, you know, it's difficult with the on and off because it's the familiarity, right? I think a lot of us kind of find ourselves in that situation. And it was really the familiarity more than anything else, more than the compatibility. Wait, were you saying let's hope Dame Dash?
I saw Dame Dash. Dame Dash asked you that same question. Yeah.
But yes, I'm single, but I'm totally open to, you know, going out on dates and that sort of thing.
So you just gave me an idea, Shaz.
What's that?
We should frigging start. You're still single. You're open. You obviously want to get married one day, have kids, all of that.
Yeah.
We should do a frigging dating show. We should get you out there and bring on some blokes. I mean, how brilliant of a show would that be? We're going to work on that show, Shaz. We're going to work on a dating show.
Wait, okay, let's see. Who would watch that if we did like a dating show and what? Are you talking about on Instagram or something?
I mean, it could be on Instagram. It could be on Hulu. It could be anywhere. Instagram. We started with Instagram. Of course we could. We got to pick some dates for you. Pick some eligible men. I mean, there's so many of them out there.
That show? Who would you guys watch if we did like a dating show and I had we had eligible bachelors coming on?
Everybody would watch that show, Shaz. Everybody would watch that show. Of course they would. They want to see the rapport that you have with different guys. They want to see how guys react with you and your chemistry and all of that stuff. They want to see the sex, you know, not the sex, but you know, you know what I mean. I think it could take off. I think it could take off. I think.
I know what you mean.
I think Mark's already volunteered to be Mark's already volunteered to be the first to kick it off.
God, I hope my mum doesn't watch this tomorrow.
I hope my mum's not watching this. Oh my God, this is crazy. All right, listen, speaking of, have you ever had, and I want the honest truth here, I want the honest truth.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a one-night stand?
Who
Spill the tea, Shaz. Spill the... Good Lord, who asked that question? Have you ever had a one-night stand? Jasmine.
Okay. Have I ever had a one-night stand? No. I have...
Sorry.
Wait.
sorry.
See, come
I'm
on.
sorry.
Don't do
It
me
went
like
down
that.
the.
No,
It
I
went down.
haven't. I will say this. There might have been a situation where it could have been that and it wasn't. How about that? It wasn't.
Wait, should I turn the light on? I don't know what to do in here. It's getting dark. Can you see me?
Yes. I can see you. You're fine for now.
Okay, good. Just let me know when I need to turn that light on.
But I'm quite bright right now, especially my nose.
All right, this is from Sarah the Brossi. What words of advice do you have for young women coming up who want to pursue a career in broadcast journalism and TV?
Are you really asking me the serious stuff when I'm like all the way down on my Malbec?
Well,
I'm a lightweight, guys. Like, I'm a real lightweight. Like, I'm really tipsy right now. Okay, what advice for young women who want to get into broadcast journalism?
Absolutely, yeah.
I would say, you know, you're lucky right now because you have so many resources at your fingertips, right? There's so much you can do. You can start your own show. I mean, I started my own Instagram live show, right? It's that easy. You just...
Which, by the way, Wendy Williams shouted you out. Your IG live show?
Yes. I was on Wendy yesterday. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there are so many resources. You've got, you know, Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got YouTube, you've got so many ways that you can just do your own thing. At the same time, I would say get as much experience as possible, you know, maybe work for local news. I got my start in local news. That looks good for you. Put it back on.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. I got my start in local news, right, where I learned, I wasn't on camera. I was a producer before I got on camera. I was a producer. And I always tell people, learn how to produce. That's one of the most important things to know how to do. You need to know how to write your ass off, okay? You need to know what it takes to produce. You need to be able to contact publicists and, you know, pitch to them if you want to talk to their client. You need to know how to do a good interview. You need to know what it takes to be in the edit with an editor and tell them what shots to use to tell the story that you need to tell. There are so many things that go into it. You need to be able to pitch to your boss and say, this is why this story is really important. You need to know your audience so that you can, you know, write your story in a way that's going to be compelling to them and capture them. So learn how to produce also learn how to be on camera. But the most important part of the job is learning how to be a good producer. And then also, once you know how to do that, you also know how to critique yourself, right? Like, oh, I need to do this better. I need to say this in a different way. I need to do this with my voice, because you know what it takes behind the scenes. So those are the things I'd say that's really, really important. And just believe in yourself. You are going to come across so many naysayers along the way. I mean, the amount of naysayers I've come across and I still come across, you know, and that's fine. Like, not everyone is going to believe in you. Not everyone's going to think, you know, you're the best, and you might need to work at certain things.
Yeah.
But if you have the passion for it and you put the time in and you have a certain amount of talent when it comes to doing this stuff, you'll get to where you want to go.
Great advice. That's really great advice. I mean, there's lots of haters, aren't there? I mean, there's always going to be haters. Not everyone's going to love you.
Who cares? I mean, yeah, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've realized that being authentic to yourself is the most important thing. And, you know, when I realized that, was actually working for HQ, because, I mean, it was something I sort of knew, I guess, but working for HQ, I remember when we started the UK show, I was getting so much direction from different people, and, oh, you should be like this, and you should say it like this and say it like that. And, oh no, they like women with soft voices in the UK. And I have a soft voice. Sorry, someone's trying to call me. My business partner. Sorry, Tone. I'll have to do this later. You know, I have a soft voice sometimes, but not when I'm broadcasting. Like, you want to have that voice that, you know,, so once people sort of left me alone to be myself, because HQ was also an outlet, is an outlet where it is about who you are as a person, right? You're upfront, you're just out there, it's you. It's not about me interviewing somebody, it's just you in somebody's smartphone. It's a very intimate kind of situation. And they either like you or they don't. If they don't, you know, it doesn't mean you're not good, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. But luckily they liked me. But it was once I was able to just sort of be myself and use my own real voice and tell the jokes I would normally tell, you know, my dry humor, sort of tease the players a little bit and that kind of thing. So I think just staying true to who you are, the best version of who you are. And yeah, you've got to switch that up depending on where you're working and who your audience is. But I think just staying true to who you are is really important.
Yeah. And it's funny, actually. I mean, you do have some great jokes, by the way. I mean, that always, your jokes
are better.
I like to think they are, actually. And usually I would be a lot funnier, but today's your day.
No, you make me laugh a lot.
Oh, well, I'm glad I do, Shaz. But when you said something about raising your voice or amplifying your voice on screen, you know, whether it's television or IG Live or just to be authoritative, I have to say, though, too, I've heard you raise your voice when you're not on IG Live or on TV, but that's a whole other conversation.
I naturally have a loud voice. And even my mum said when I was a baby, like, people down the block could hear when I was crying.
Shaz, you can be.
So I was meant to do this.
No, of course you were. But you can be. Listen, what do you say to people who find you intimidating? What do you say to them? Because I know you, and I know why somebody would say that. But you are the kindest. Why would they say you're intimidating? Because you're gorgeous, you're intelligent, you've got a great body, you have everything, Shaz. You have everything. Why wouldn't somebody be intimidated? But the thing is, no, but it's the truth. I'm just saying, but I know you so well, and there's nothing to be intimidated by. Why? Because you're a sweetheart.
Aww,
but maybe somebody's not going to know you're the sweetheart. So I just wonder how you break through that when you're up against those people that might find you intimidating, because it can be a challenge, it could be a test, it could be something that's difficult for you to respond to.
It's a really interesting question. I don't know, because it's hard to know when someone does find you intimidating, right? It's really hard to know, but I think that anyone who has sort of been around me probably doesn't find me intimidating for more than 5 minutes, if they did in the first place. Because, you know, I think I'm a nice person and polite. I've got manners. And I also learned the art of making people feel really comfortable around me. And, you know, when that skill is most important, it's most important going into meetings. And it was something that I didn't really realize before. I remember I used to go into meetings and it was all about, oh, how do I sell myself? And, oh, I've got to say this about myself and that about myself. And then I realized at one point, no, yes, that's part of it. But the most important thing is going in and making that person feel good, right? Having banter, you know, have a little laugh about, you know, I don't know, the weather or whatever it is. Make that person feel comfortable. And I've learned that skill. Not that it's not who I am, but, you know, there are situations that I walk into and I'm intimidated. So to be able to go into that situation and still kind of make that person feel comfortable when I might not feel that comfortable, but I'm going to feel more comfortable when they feel more comfortable. You know what I mean?
And yes, and you just brought up an interesting point. Who are you intimidated by? I mean, aside from me. Who intimidates you, Shaz?
Oprah Winfrey.
Of course. Jay-Z?
Intimidated by
Jay-Z?
I'm not going to say Jay-Z intimidates me. I have the utmost respect for him. I think he's amazing. I think he's super talented. He's the king of hip hop. but I'm not going to say he intimidates me because he's been so nice every time I've met him. And he made me look really good in front of all my bosses one time, including one boss who wasn't really my boss, but he was just like very high up at the network, and who had told me, you know, a couple of years before that my English accent was a distraction, and basically said I was never going to make it. He might be watching right now. Sorry. I know I've told this story so many times.
I know who you're talking about, by the way. I know who you're talking about.
Yes. Because, you know, I was young at the time, and it was hard to hear that, because it was like, oh, your English accent is a distraction. That's it. Change the subject. It's like, well, you know, how old was I at the time? Like maybe 21. And, but anyway, Jay-Z made me look really good in front of him and a bunch of other people when he was going on about, oh yeah, you know, every time I see you on the air, I love your accent. You've got the most amazing accent, blah, 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 in front of the same guy who said my accent was a distraction and insinuated I was never going to make it because of that.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, what about Michelle Obama?
Oh, I'd love her. I would probably be slightly intimidated. Yeah, I'd be intimidated.
Slightly?
But
Slightly?
but the thing is, I don't let intimidation get the better of me.
Right.
People aren't going to know that I'm intimidated, but I'm certainly inside going to be, oh, I'm so nervous. It's Michelle Obama. I love her. She's amazing. She's so smart. She's, you know, just a really, really good person. Maybe she'll be president one day.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Hi, Barry. We love Barry as well.
Oh, Barry. All right. If you could sleep with anyone, Shaz, who would it be? Drum roll.
Okay, who asked that one? You're not shouting at the people who asked the questions.
You know, because there's so many questions. There's like a million. I'm like reading through pages of questions, and I've been drinking.
Wait,
like,
God.
Oh, here it is. Cool Jasmine. Jasmine. Okay.
I don't know. Throw out some names. It would be good.
Wesley Snipes.
No.
No. Barack Obama.
He's married. Come on.
All right. Matt Dillon. No. Hold on. These
are terrible choices. These are just
Bon Jovi.
Let me grab the reins here.
Lenny Kravitz.
Let me grab the reins here.
Grab the reins, because I'm only a music person. No.
Well, none of those people are music people you just brought up there.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz.
I don't know.
Lenny Kravitz. Wait a minute. Bon Jovi, no. Lenny Kravitz? Of course they're music people.
I love Lenny Kravitz, but no. No.
Really?
I don't know, because I don't really have a sort of celebrity crush like that, but...
Jimi Hendrix. If he was alive today, would you sleep with Jimi Hendrix?
No.
Wow. I would sleep with Jimi Hendrix. I would sleep with Jimi Hendrix. Hell yes.
The thing is, I don't know anything about his personality that's a really hard question. I don't have an answer for that one.
What? You know why you don't have an answer for that one? Because you slept with all of them. That's why.
That is not true. That is not true at all. That is so not true.
Of course it's not. It's just my comedic hat. Where's Chris Rock when you need him? I wanted him to judge me on my comedic skills, but
you know, we
all right.
This is minutes before it cuts us off.
I know. So we've got a couple more. Poppy Alexa's asking.
Captain Caveman. Yeah, that's who. That was your wild ride.
No. But this is Poppy. Alexa. She asked.
Maybe Rihanna.
Rihanna. She's asking, are you reading any good books? And could you recommend any specifically in like the self-help arena?
You know, I'm reading The Secret right now. It's taken me a long time to get through it.
Wait, you were reading The Secret last year? It's taken you a year to read The Secret?
I was reading it about 5 years before that too. Yes, it's taken me a while to get through it. I'm really trying to absorb the information, right? So I read a few pages, I leave it for a few months, You know, I let it marinate. But The Secret is a great book. It's a great book. I really believe in the power of attraction and just visualizing things and just feeling it in your gut and just knowing it's gonna work out, and knowing you can have it, and knowing you can get anything, and thinking good thoughts and positivity. I'm a true believer in that. So The Secret. My sister's books, these aren't self-help books, but psychological thrillers. She's a best-selling author, Catherine Croft, anything by Catherine Croft. I'm reading some books that a good friend of mine who's in Hollywood, he recommended to me, on pitching scripted television shows, because I work on unscripted shows, but I'm now getting into the scripted space as well. So movies, you know, how to write for scripted TV. So I'm reading those books too. Yeah, so a few different things. But I'm reading through my sister's books because we want to try to do something with those books. They're bestsellers, you know, trying to see what I can do.
Psychological thrillers, Shaz. I mean, if you look at Netflix now, everything's psychological thrillers. I mean, look at Ratched, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, I could see Catherine's books adapted into those screen TV series, a film. Absolutely, Shaz. You should look into that. You should look into that. All right, this one's from Guillaume Van Dam. What are some good dating apps for men? Like dating apps for men during, or dating tips, I should say. What are some good dating tips for men during the pandemic? Like, help these men out there during this pandemic.
Apps for men?
No, not dating apps, dating tips. Dating tips.
But I've got some tips, okay.
What?
Dating during the pandemic, right? I would say doing something like this, you know, virtual dating, first step. If you are going to meet in person, do a COVID test, right? I really think that's important right now, especially as the rates are going up. Yeah, I think it's important. Do a COVID test. If you both test negative, then maybe you meet up, but still be careful. No kissing. Okay.
That's the best part.
Well, no kissing during COVID. I would say that if you like somebody, check on them and make sure they're okay, because people are going through a hard time. Like, show them that you actually care. Like, do you need anything? How you doing? How you feeling? How's work? What's going on? Showing that you care, I think, is one of the most important things at this point in time. So that's a good dating tip. That's it.
What's the best? No. Well, we've got a couple minutes left. What's the best piece of advice? This is from Sweet. Oh, for dating tips. Yeah. Well, let's move on quickly. We've got Sweet Angela 2007. Okay. She's asking, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received and or given?
Okay. The best piece of advice I've ever received was somebody who said to me, in business, never make a decision based on fear, right? Never make a decision based on fear, like, oh, I'm going to take this job because I'm scared of what happens. You know, I'm scared I won't find anything else, even though it might not be for me. Or I'm going to work with this agent, even though I'm not really feeling them like that, but I'm scared I might not find another agent or the agent that's right for me. And I thought that was just really powerful. And I think the same goes for personal relationships. Like, if you are in a relationship out of fear, meaning, oh, I might not find anyone better. I might, you know, maybe this is it. I'm just going to settle because, you know, I'm just scared of going out there and looking for someone who I'm more suited to. Then you're going down the wrong path. I think instead of fear, you need to operate and make decisions out of faith. Right? I have faith I'm going to find what's right for me, and I'm going to do everything I can to get me to that point. So no fear, but faith.
I love it.
And the best advice I've ever given, one is probably work harder than everyone else.
Harder or smarter?
No, I'm not into the smarter versus harder. I mean, work smart, yeah, but work harder. Work harder. You're supposed to be working smart anyway. You shouldn't be working dumb. you know? Like, you're supposed to be working smart, but work harder. And the other one is maintain your standards, because depending on where you go and who you're working with, there are going to be different standards to be met, right? And I remember working on a story for a network, and it wasn't where it needed to be, and I needed another half day in the edit to make it, to really do justice for the story. And I was trying to get my bosses to give me that extra half day in the edit to get it done. And it was difficult. It was a difficult sort of fight to make it happen. But again, to do justice to the story and for the audience, I needed another half day in the edit. And I remember somebody saying to me, he was an editor, he said, "Oh, Sharon, who cares? Like, if the bosses are okay with it, you should be okay with it. It's just a job. It's just a paycheck." And I thought, wow, like, that's sad. Because to me, I mean, listen, some people, okay, if it's just a job to you and you're okay with that, then that's fine. But to me, it's never just a job. Like, it's bigger than that. And I felt sorry for that guy. And I said, I don't care if the bosses think it's okay. It's not. I know it's not. I know the story better than anyone else. So, and once they did give me that extra half day, I took that story to a whole other level. So it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, unless they're like, no, it's not good enough, it needs to be better, then great, like, raise your standards. But don't bring your standards down.
No, you love the challenge. That's great, Shaz. Listen, we have time for one more, and this one's coming from me, if you don't mind. What do you do for fun? What do you do when you're not covering red carpets or traveling on work assignments or busy being like an influencer on social media or crafting up some TV treatment? What do you do? What are you doing with your life for fun?
Nothing.
Bad answer.
I'm hanging out with my cat.
Simon Cowell would say, wrong answer. Goodbye.
What do I do? I mean, I love going out to dinner. It's a little more difficult during this time, right? But I'll go out to, you know, the outside restaurants, and I guess now they're allowing you inside 25% capacity. But I love to go out to dinner. I love trying different restaurants. I love to be around good friends. I love to be around good people. I love great conversation. I used to love going out and just dancing to good music and just letting your hair down and just having a good time. I used to love that. I mean, I got to the point where I didn't do it as much because you've got all these responsibilities the next day and that sort of thing. But I love music. I love traveling. I love traveling, and those sorts of things. But work is also something that I'm really passionate about. So if it means spending the night in, it's the weekend, I'm just like writing and working on a treatment or something, that I enjoy that too.
Oh, well, this has been great, Shaz. I've had so much fun doing this with you. The 10 and 10. I get to give you the 10 and 10 with all your fans. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, this has been awesome, Dee.
We've got to pursue this dating show, Shaz. That's next. That's next.
Yeah, we'll talk about
it. Makes sense. I had 1,000 questions all saying the same thing. Are you single? I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
There's something to be thinking about there. Just the thinking about that. That's all. I think it could do really well. That's all.
Well, definitely.
Mum's the word, Shaz. Mum's the word.
Mum's the word. You and I will talk about that offline.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
I mean, it could be, maybe Huh?
I was just giving you kisses.
Oh.
How do you like my nails, by the way?
You have to do like that, because otherwise the kisses are concealed.
Shaz, how do you like my nails?
They look really good.
I painted them just
really
for you.
Good. Mine maybe not as good. Did you get them done?
No, I did them myself just now to get ready for this.
Okay. There were a few questions people submitted as well, but I think we've run out of time. Instagram's going to cut us off, and then I'm going to lose this. Because if you wait till the very end, then you lose the recording. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. It was fun. And thank you for your questions as well.
That was fun. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
I did too. We'll talk about
I learned a bit more about you, Shaz. I learned a bit more.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
Just a bit more.
Okay, good. You know a lot about me already. All right, guys, but we'll talk about the dating show if there's going to be a dating show. If there is, see that
100%.
We'll talk about it off camera. Bye, Em. Bye, Mark. Bye, everybody. Bye, Jazz.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.